And while our runners' streams are getting synced up, we'll get started off here with some nice early morning text mashing. Looking at Link right now, that's about how I feel at the moment. Haven't quite had my coffee, but just starting to wake up. We're getting this distress message, a little SOS from our girl Zelda inside the dungeon of the ever exciting escape from Hyrule Castle, where we're going to go pick her up, maybe grab a lamp or something, and make our way on out. Ditching our uncle behind and immediately disobeying his orders to stay. And going to go find him in this little well and pick up some equipment, you know? Pretty exciting stuff. Oh, he's taking it. Picking up the bush, dropping it on it. And we see the uncle just hanging out here. And he doesn't need this stuff anymore, so we're just going to snag it from him and make our way toward the castle and, you know, take things into our own hands and grab Zelda ourselves. I want you to imagine, like, your uncle that you know he's the one that all of your other relatives are going to give you, like, a birthday card with cash in it for your birthday. He's the uncle that you know, like, the card's empty, okay? He's kind of a disappointment. And you know that, like, heading into it. That's more or less what this guy's like. Expect very little of him. Some pretty good green guard RNG for both our runners as they make their way into the blue key guard. A couple different strats you can do here. Mike going for the top slash, as is Skarsnik. It's a marginal difference of frames slower than the left poke spin, but it is a little easier to pick up. There's a bigger window for success as far as where the spin takes place and getting the double spin off the statue. So a lot of people opt for that, certainly in races. Similar strategy here for this next key guard. Going to be doing another spin slash. Mike getting a kind of unfavorable RNG, while Skarsnik getting one of the better ones. Both successfully getting the poke into the spin on the third, that's right, third key guard, and picking up their booms. And they're going to head down into the ball and chain, dude. Mike having a little bit of trouble with some of his slashes. Clinks on the first one, but is able to clean it up and gets what looked like a 258 key. Skarsnik getting like a 300 key. So our runner's only 2 seconds apart at the key pickup. Backtracking through this room with the downtown guards, you're actually going to head back upstairs a little differently, being able to kind of avoid the path we had to take. This is involves a little less meandering, and we can kind of hop off this ledge here and then wind right back into the map room where we killed the first key guard. This is actually one of the more difficult rooms to execute well, with the text boxes, the stair movement, and then kind of moving on a nice diagonal and lining up for a push here that you don't want to push too short or you'll walk up and be blocked out, and you obviously don't want to push it too far because then you've just done more work than you need to. But it's kind of a tricky room. Now I'm going to head down into the sewers. Going to have an abundance of little critters we're going to get to deal with. First, we're going to have a little pack of snakes, and then have to deal with a couple bats, you know, and then some rats. Some pretty solid animal life that we're going to visit in this sewer. I kind of look at it as like a Steve Irwin Crocodile Hunter kind of adventure, but, you know, in the sewer of a castle instead of the great outback. Except for I don't know if he'd be okay with killing animals and stealing what they have on them. He's more of a conservationalist, I guess. I think he would rather negotiate with the rat for the key. This probably makes more sense for him. Mike having a little bit of trouble with some trolley rat movement here. Scars just holding up just a second so that he can get through. Both of them having a friendly rat in that second to last room. They can move to the right, like, and kind of beeline for you and force you to have to use an extra slash of your sword to not take a hit, but both of them getting nice patterns there. Finishing up, moving on out of the scape. Nice time to start for both of them. Sub sixes on both screen, and you love to see that, you know. Mike grabbing himself a little Sanctuary Heart. Skarsnik just behind him, picking up his. Having a little bit of trouble with that sticky Bernie Sanders there. Getting caught on him a little bit. Feeling the burn. The overworld can be a little bit tricky. No, like, super precise movement, but really just kind of being aware of the movement of the Octos and when they're shooting and when you kind of need to dodge them or toss a boom in order to freeze one that gets in your way, and then making your way uptown past some more Octos, and then a couple Armos Knights, and making your way into Eastern. Mike with a really nice time to boom there. Skarsnik a little bit late on what looked like he was going for a slash strategy there to poke through. Takes a little bump, but nothing too serious. Skarsnik actually went above the second Armos there, which causes you to have to boomerang the Blue Knight. If you hang out below it quite a bit of ways before he's able to spawn on the screen, then you can actually make it through without having to do that. But certainly just a preference. Skarsnik getting the best pattern you can get with the Stalfos there. Mike heading right into the middle of that, you know, three-sided square figure. Tosses some pots, and both of them taking care of the Stalfos before they can spawn, making it through that cool room pretty nicely. See our runners start to pick up some arrows here. Gonna grab a 5-pack here, and then picking up 10 later before they head up into the Gifted with Greenies room. Ooh, a really slick green drop for Mike. I bet you he is just losing his mind. Oh, and a blue for Skarsnik. Oh my god, these popos, they're making it rain up in Eastern. Rupees all over the place already. These fortunate souls. Really nice damage boost for Mike there, getting the big key. Fortunately gets kicked out to the right. Skarsnik also getting kicked down right. He kind of approached it from the side, chooses to go to the right, and makes his way up through the big key door. So here's Mike getting his second pack at 10. And Skarsnik right behind him getting his. And Mike grabbing the bow. Mike getting another rupee drop, rolling in with 6 rupees now. Oh, Scar's missing an arrow, but picking it up before the Igor freezes there. Kind of got himself out of a little bit of trouble. If the Igor freezes, you kind of have to deal with the other popos and then also have to wait for the second cycle. It can be kind of troublesome, so nice job for him. Mike with a pretty nice Zelda gamer room with the RNG that he got. Gets that red rupee drop, but super far out of the way. Chooses to leave it behind. I don't blame him at all. We'll see what Skars gets. Ooh, that based red rupee. Oh, man, the old Ruby Rupee. Everyone's favorite drop in the dungeon. So Skars is set for his rupee count for the rest of the run, provided that everything else goes well. And Mike with his pendant, going to be getting a sword up right around the 11-minute mark. And Skars not too far behind him with a 56 pendant catch. So here's Sahasrahla is going to be making our lives a little bit easier. Looks like Mike is actually heading into the back. He's going to be grabbing his rupees from Sahasrahla. Not going to grab the bombs. Going to save a few seconds there and head out. And it looks like Skarsnik is going to do the same. I think this might be the first bracket race where we have seen both runners grabbing the rupees out of the back of Saha's hut. Skarsnik having a little bit of trouble with the spin Schweed, but just going to choose the dash on through and not lose any more time to attempting that anymore. Oh, takes a hit from an Octo. They are just impeccable with their timing when using normal dashes. Mike astutely choosing not to do the forbidden spin speed on the way to the library because he is a smart player. Keep it real, Mike. Making me proud. Skarsnik says, I want to go for it. Did not get the last spin speed. Going to try to make up a couple frames here. Pretty nice movement. Cancels his spin speed at the start of the ladder so that he does not run past the door. So nice job, Skars. Oh, Mike with some pretty unfavorable Blue Knights, but has really nicely timed dashes, clinks off of them, and is heading toward desert. Mike choosing just to go for a typical spin there on the little Sarlacc. No poke dash in here, not taking any chances. Wants to make sure that he has as much health and time saved and conserved as he does heading into the Lammolas fight. Scar's taking a hit there, losing one heart. Hopefully not the big deal, but losing another heart and a half to the Sarlacc. Got a little bit too close to the claws of the antlion. And he is going to get his bonk key and try to maintain the rest of his health for the rest of the dungeon so he can head in with enough health to take a couple hits if he gets some bad patterns with the worms. Nice balls pattern for Scars. Unfortunately, bonks on the chest and is going to have to wait a little bit for the way back. Mike going for the I Am Legend stair speed. Pretty dope moves. If you start your dash at a particular area on those stairs, it actually does save a couple frames. You get kind of like this weird speed boost kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's pretty rad. The god tier RNG in the genocide of the Popos for Mike. Has to throw the pot a little bit out of his way there, but not a big deal. Skarsnik heading into the second part of the dungeon. He's going to make his way up to the Popo room. Hopefully he can do well. Mike picking up the 5 arrows. Wants to see how many he can have when he leaves. Have his max out his count. And see what he'll leave with because of those 5. Hopefully they come in handy. Skarsnik not getting nearly as favorable of the pattern. We'll see how Mike does here on his Lambo fight. Takes a hit on cycle 1, unfortunately. Hopefully he can make that back up. Really nice third cycle for Mike. All right, a little bit rough of a start for Mike, but nice last 2 cycles to clean up the fight there. Pretty well done. He has 10 arrows leaving, which is a nice amount to have, so hopefully he is able to take care of some business later because he picked up some extra arrows. Business time. Skarsnik, meanwhile, going for the bomb strats. Don't see it a whole lot anymore. Very cool strat, though, if you're picking up the rupees in Saha's hut. Certainly a thing to consider is picking up the bombs and dropping them on the landmo for the first cycle. Really nicely done there to finish up the fight, grabbing his pendant. And now both of our runners are going to head our way up to the Stairway to Hera. Making it on up the mountain. Mike doing flippers that are fake perfectly. Ooh, his one of those really obnoxious looking patterns for the Zora spawn, but very quickly makes it into the whirlpool. No problems here. The rules for the softlock has actually changed slightly for the bracket round. As far as I remember, you have to save and quit to Link's house and then go walk back to the bush that you would slash and touch it before you can proceed with your run. Skarsnik, a really nice fake flippers movement there. Mike the Viewer picking up his Greenham 83, the old bag of the community. Lost in the cave. Gonna take him and steal his mirror from him, like the vain soul that he is. Some pretty meh RNG so far for Mike. Oh, it causes him to hop off the ledge. He did not want to take a hit there, so he tried to move down, and it actually kind of ran him out of town. Lost his spin speed, but did not take any extra damage. So Skarsnik, if he can have a clean Death Mountain, is actually going to make up a little bit of the time he lost on the way to desert and in the dungeon. So hopefully he can do that. As we got Blunt Bunny over here on Mike's screen, warping on up to Hera. Oh, Skarsnik tried to squeeze by that little Michael and does not squeeze through. Unfortunately, takes a little bonk, but does not actually jump off the ledge, so is probably going to make up just a little bit of time over Mike's Death Mountain travel. Mike giving a hug to that lonely Moldorm. Skarsnik getting the nice hanging out on the pegs there. Gonna be able to take some iframes and chill. Meanwhile, Mike cleaning up beetles really nicely. Hitting the switch. Looks like he's gonna pick up a heart or two. Takes another little hug from a mini Moldorm, but with the switch, he should be okay. Going for the new poke strats. Scar's going for a different strategy. Pots the second beetle into the bottom left hole. And, oh, actually misthrows the pot, but recovers very quickly and nets the third death there. Might get a nice quick first hit on the Moldorm. Ooh, a nice poke there as well. Didn't even actually have to start his dash. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fortunately for him, has a really nice series of hits, but gets a little bad luck on the final one there. But Skarsnik also taking a fall at the same time, so the fall for Mike might not be that costly. But he needs to be careful with his health now as well. Moldorm does not want to cooperate for Mike. Finally gets the last hit on him. And is going to be able to grab his heart and then his pendant. Talk about a troll in one. Skarsnik lining up for his second bomb jump attempt here. He makes it across this time. No big deals. He'll be making his way uptown into the top floor here. Skarsnik also picking up 2 extra hearts so he can, you know, have a little padding for his fight. He only had 1.5, so only would have been able to tank 1 hit before death. This is going to be my favorite race I've ever commentated. I don't have to talk about tree rupees at all. Whoa, Skarsnik taking a little bump. Doing a little... Oh, no, unfortunately gets another one and gets knocked off of the top. So both of our runners now have taken a fall to mortar. Skarsnik trying to salvage his time here, not picking up any more hearts. He's going to go in with just 1.5. So hopefully he can come through. And he does. Nice dash on the hit 6 there. Cleans it up. He wants to just get out of the light world at this point. Both of our runners. And get on through. Mike just grabbed his Master Sword. And he's going to be heading back to the castle. And he's going to find Zelda once again being held captive. Yeah, I guess I didn't mention that actually, D-Rock. Ironically, I guess it's not even ironic. I don't know. Coincidentally, the winner of this race is actually not just winning a race, but they are earning the privilege, the honor of being my next opponent in the tournament. So there's a lot on this line because I know how many people are just dying to be paired up with the purebred mutt, all right? Mike having a little bit of trouble here. He is going to lose his heart and fairy drop, so he's going to have to be extra special and extra careful. Extra special? What? Words, Kev. Extra careful in Turtle the Rock Johnson later on because he's not going to have those drops there. Skarsnik also going to skip the tree rupees because he's awesome as well. Ooh, taking a little bonk there. Slashing some bushes. He's going to be all right. Here we go. Mike in the worst room in the dungeon, the Dark Bridge. I went from full health to 0 hearts here yesterday. It was pretty sweet. Taking one little clip there. And he has 6 arrows heading into the Red Knight's room. Going to pump arrows into both of them. And he will definitely, he's going to have enough provided that he doesn't have an archery contest. So as long as he hasn't been following any like Scrivo tutorials, he should be all right heading into pod. Skarsnik kind of doing like a reverse strategy here with the bow and beams. Meanwhile, Mike has a 2837 penthouse chamber. Nicely done. As Skarsnik is going to be making his way up into the 3rd floor where he'll get to deal with Christian Bale and his pals in the Room of Darkness. Now, I would never wish blue balls on anyone, ever. So hopefully Mike can get through unscathed. Well, I say anyone, but I guess Sabin is a person that I do know. So I guess he is someone. So far, so good for Mike. Oh, and there's Scars taking the hit on the bridge. Like I said, this is really dangerous. He needs to be careful, especially because Michael just dropped the 0 blue balls, everyone. Rolling in 0, zilch, null, 0, ray. I don't know 0 in French because I don't know any of that. It's Saban's language. That's gonna be my excuse for not knowing anything. 1, 2, 3. Rolling in. So despite a bit of a problem, oh no, Scars needs to be very careful here. He is down to his last hit. Ooh, gets a friendly heart drop too. Hopefully he can make it through, no more problems. He's gonna play the circle of pot nice and safe here. Ooh, missing that throw. And he's gonna pick up his key. Whew. Whew. Don't worry, guys. If you thought I was scared, might have been, but Skarsnik was not scared for a single moment. He was pretty much ready to go. Oh, well, then I nailed it in French. Perfect. So here we're going to play the extortionate chimpanzee and head on over to the Palace of Darkness. Unfortunately, Mike does not have enough rupees. I don't know if he's aware of that. It looks like he did not. And so now he's actually going to have to farm 8 more. I was looking at his count and I was like, this does not look correct. I think he needs the 100 now. He only had 97. Hopefully he can get a red drop here. He's also carrying the monkey around with him now because he had to travel back, so he's going to have to be extra careful. The Popo's just not being particularly friendly right now. Let's see where he wants to go next. He's thinking about what he wants to do. He cannot get the Sahasrara rupees because he already grabbed them. He might be going for a tree bonk, if nothing here. There's another blue, still too short. There is another Popo over here, or Ropa now. Nothing coming there. And there he gets his tree bonk for another blue. He is farming another 5 because now that he's transitioned the screen, he's going to have to pay Kiki for a 3rd time. Unfortunately, so he's going to need a total of 130 rupees on this run. Takes a nice snap of the Snapdragon. But he, looks like he's going to pick up a fairy as well because he's not having none of that. Meanwhile, Scars on top of the pyramid, despite Mike having 0 blue balls, is actually not that far behind now. So the rupee troubles of the extortionate simian creature has actually bridged the gap of these 2 runners. So we have Skarsnik coming up. Mike's going to play this extra careful. Doesn't want to be going around doing some dipsy doodlings for some more rupees. So he is heading into pod as Skarsnik is actually making his way down the pyramid. So less than a minute is actually between our 2 runners now because from sword up to entry is about 1 minute and 1 minute 2 seconds. Skarsnik makes his way nicely, so all of that time lost for Mike is in fact time saved for Skarsnik in the race. So nicely done for him. Able to make a nice comeback despite 2 falls in the Tower of Hera and more blue balls. He is able to kind of make a nice little comeback trail here heading into the Dark World. Mike grabbing his big key. He's going to be mirroring out and head up to the hammer chest. Skarsnik taking a little bit of a different path. Going to grab this small key here first. Mike getting his magic drop now, unfortunately, so he will not be able to count on that internal rock either. So he's going to have to be a little cognizant of his magic use up there so that he doesn't run out whenever he needs to use the cane in the dark platform maze. Nicely done for Mike. Skipping past the rogue tomato there. I don't know how Link to the Past ripped off of FF12, but they managed to do it. This is what I was saying. Mike's arrow count was pretty nice because he has 6 arrows left, and now he's going to be skipping any arrow pickup, so he'll have 1, just 1, leaving pod. So his 5 pickup earlier that he went out of his way for was really helpful in the end. Meanwhile, Skarsnik not going to be doing the hammer jump, it looks like. Looks like he's picking up some rupees here. Going to dash around a little bit, pick up small key. Maybe pick up some more rupees. Ooh, a little Fiesta de las Tortugas up on Mike's screen here. You know, it wouldn't be a party without a turtle party. So now we have the cat scorpion boss. Oh my, whew. Gotta work on my talking. Mike going for some really nice hammer strats there on the left side. Takes one little kiss there. Getting a spin. Looks like he's gonna finish it off with one more spin. Whoa! Actually releases the spin a little bit too far away from Helmasaur, but Helmasaur, being the moronic boss that he is like, hey, I'm gonna walk right into that. And finishes the job for him. So the suicidal scorpion cat boss up on Mike's screen. This is what we came to see, folks. Meanwhile, Skarsnik waiting for the wall to move out, and he's going to be heading into the basement and make his way downtown into the Fiesta for himself. Oh, nicely done for Scars. Actually did not kill the second of the middle turtle there, and had he poked it before releasing his spin, would have lost his spin and had not been able to get the quick kill on the room. So no Fiesta up in here. Ooh, Mike losing a lottery twice. He is having really unfortunate luck on this overworld screen so far today. Things have just not been going well for him on this screen. Hopefully the rest of the way to Thieves Town will be a little bit nicer to him. Meanwhile, Skarsnik had a really nice cleanup on Helmasaur King, and he's going to be grabbing his crystal here. Mike showing off a little hammer dash. Pressing the Y button and dash button on the same frame can allow you to use some items while you begin a dash, saving a little bit of timeage there. And you can continuously hammer through lines of pegs, which is particularly useful in that instance. as well as a handful of others. Here we go. We're talking to Dark Mind Demon here, hanging out on the stump. He kind of rocks away, you know, and he's just gonna drop you his hammer because he's like, "Yo, I lost my flute. Pick it up for me." Oh, only one dig for Mike. Yeah, you just love to see that. That is really good stuff. As you got this red chocobo that kind of tramples over his face, you know, like nothing happened. No biggie. Meanwhile, Skarsnik going to be making his way to the flute boy as well. Also losing the same lottery. Hopefully none of these two guys are going to be playing any blackjack at the casino today. Because there's not in the cards. Oh, no pun intended. That was not an intended pun. Do not put me on par with my boy Scrivo. That was purely accidental. Don't want to hear about it ever again. Skarsnik, I believe, has a high 132 or low 133, and Mike the Viewer is sitting at a 125 for their PBs. Really nice overworld for Mike since the lottery incident, so nicely done for him. Skarsnik grabbing his flute, and he's going to make his way to the duck statue and head on towards Thieves Town for himself. If you're new to the speedrun, this is actually not the second dungeon the game intends. Obviously, that would be Swamp Palace if you check out the map crystals. But because the boss, the damage on the boss is not dependent on the level of sword that you have, as well as giving us the Titan Mitts, which open up and make available the Tempered Sword immediately after, we do this dungeon second in order to take care of those needs for ourselves. Skarsnik making his way up into the Apple Babble. Oop, takes a little poke there, no biggie. Gonna kill this Blue Knight and make his way up there. And Mike the Viewer going to head into the Hellway. Bad RNG, so no need in even trying for the pixel there. Dodged him nicely. Really clean Hellway, considering the RNG he had. Kind of made him zigzag back and forth there. Skarsnik, ooh, taking a little bonk there. And, you know, sitting on a bomb that gets launched by that tree, because that's what trees do in Hyrule. Mike waiting a little bit long there on the dash down through the spikes. Wants to make sure he doesn't take any more damage. Just playing a little bit safe, it looks like. Making sure that he can get through deathless here. Because there is some punishing damage dealers in the prison where we're going to pick up the Iron Maiden of Thieves Town. Skarsnik picking up a big key. He's going to head his way back through up here. Going to dodge this spark. Mike doing some really nice dashes there, canceling them really, really well. That was probably like 10 seconds and 57 frames or something. That's how nice that was. But, you know, I'm just guessing. Hammer down the peg, grabbing the Titan's mitts. Skarsnik making his way to the Hellway. See how if he is able to make my boy Saban proud. Gets the RNG, gets the pixel, gets the dash, and gets to the door. That was incredible. I'm excited for that. That is beautiful. Nicely done, Skarsnik. Mike headed into the blind fight. Very unpredictable in nature. Gonna be 3 slashes per head here. Going for the poke. And 2 more pokes there on the second phase. And a beautiful fight for Mike the viewer. Grabs his crystal at 45-20. Skarsnik gonna be heading down in the basement for himself. Getting a little bad luck with the blue horses there, kind of hanging out right by the gates for him. But he's going to talk to the chick, take her over to the big chest room, pick up his Titan's Miss before he is able to fight blind for himself. So Mike's going to pick up the toad here. I don't know, toad, frog, whatever. Anyone tells you they're different, they're just wrong. And going to turn him in for his tempered sword opportunity for a whopping 10 rupees. Meanwhile, Skarsnik heading into blind. Nice done for his first 2 phases. Hopefully he can have a clean third as well. Goes for a little bit of a different strat. He's going to have to go down to the bottom to hit up the final slash, but still pretty nicely done for him. He's going to get his heart container and his crystal now. All right, Mike's coming up on a pivotal moment in the run. This is what separates the Zeldas from the Grefs. This is what separates the men from the boys. The fence dash attempt. And Mike will not disappoint me fully, but just a little bit. So shoutouts to Mike for the most anticlimactic fence dash attempt of all time. So Skarsnik having some pretty attractive aesthetics for his game right now. It was in fact a fence dash. It was just not the optimal fence dash, but still pretty nice looking. Mike's setting up for his next bomb jump here to the fire rod. Really nicely done. So far, had a pretty good start to the dungeon. Only took 1 little hit from the mummy in the first mummy room. So hopefully he's able to get through with 5 hearts the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Skarsnik going to pick up his tempered sword, and he's going to make his way to the fence boss. Unfortunately, bonks in the fence dash, but that's fine. Has a little trouble finding the door there, but understandably so when the door and the wall look exactly the same. Also having trouble finding the chest. Mike dropping into the Mothula fight. The old Joshua fight. Going for the dash. Takes a hit from a spike, so he's going to need to be a little bit careful that he doesn't take a beam, but perfectly done there. Gets a nice dash to finish off Mothula, and he's going to grab his next crystal. Skarsnik taking a similar hit from the mummy that Mike took, but also pushed the statue just a little bit too high and cannot get behind it now, so he's going to have to wait a little bit before he can. Skarsnik's stream is also now watchable again, which is really nice for everyone, so shout outs to that. Mike Miriam out immediately after leaving the exit of the dungeon. Nice little warp there. And he's going to call the duck and head on up to the catfish, where he will grab the Quake Medallion and make his way to Ice Palace. Skarsnik, meanwhile, finishing up part 2 of the dungeon, where he's going to head into the final segment of Skullwoods. Skarsnik just also demonstrated something that if you're someone that runs the game and you like to pick up that key and then dash down immediately after, you'll notice that Skarsnik and Mike both walked down and then down right on a diagonal to the door. It is actually faster to grab the key and walk in the same fashion than it is to dash. So if you're a chronic dasher, that is actually one instance where walking is actually faster. Skarsnik getting a little bit troll here. Whoa, that movement, dodging the hand, coming for him, making us proud. No worries here. Takes another hit from the mini Moldorm. He is now blunt bunnied. Scar's having a little bit of trouble here. Took a little bit too much damage in that first room. Now he's kind of dancing around. Oh, and he takes a bite from the mummy's face there. And he's going to have to do this segment of the dungeon again. He's also going to have to farm some magic to get through the Torch Hellway. So we'll see what he wants to do here, if he wants to just genocide the mummies or what. And there's a nice little magic drop just to taunt him out of reach. The mummies can drop the large vial. It is in their prize bag. He, right now, has enough if he chooses to use the lamps, which it looks like he's going to do. Meanwhile, Mike getting his floops. Skarsnik killing the mummy here this time. Gonna get the key, dodging the Moldorm there. Gonna head in with 5 hearts, so hopefully he can have a clean fight as well. Mike choosing to drop the fire rod there so that he doesn't take any damage, so he'll have beams going into Ice 2, saving a little bit of time there. Skarsnik with a spike dance up here. Oh, and takes a beam. And he's going to have his second death of Skullwoods, unfortunately. So he is going to have to make his way again through the Mummy Hellway. And is, again, a little bit short on magic. Mike going for the 2 bomb strats. Places the first bomb and the second bomb nicely tossed there and nicely timed. Drop into his Stalfos Knights. Gonna drop 1 bomb, throw the skull into the second Stalfos Knight, and is able to actually kill both of them with 1 bomb. Oh, and he chooses to go for the beams and then tanks the hit off the spike so that he can dash straight through. That is really nicely done. It's very difficult to be able to do in an RTA attempt, even with a bunch of practice. So nicely done for him. Skarsnik cleaning up on Isle Moth there, really nicely done. Mike the viewer giving us a little preview if you tune into NBC tonight. That is the Alex Ovechkin room, killing all the Penguins' hopes and dreams. And, you know, on ice, nonetheless, there's no coincidences in this game. That is just pure foreshadowing to 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. So keep your eye out on that. Shout outs to Scrivo for hockey being his favorite sport. Mike's going to hammer this skull here. Ditches the block for just a hot second there. And he's going to move some of these statues out of the way and head on down into the cold stare fight. Gets all 8 fire rod shots pumped into cold stare, gets him in the corner, and a really, really nice job there. One of them doesn't get hit by the last slash that he wanted, but, you know, doesn't take long at all for him to realize and slash it one more time. Skarsnik going to be picking up his skull here, tossing it into the ring of the catfish, and getting his Quake medallion as well, and then make his way up to the flippers. Unfortunately, it did not register his skull, so he's got to throw another item, taking a page out of the Sabin book from earlier in the tournament. Still threw like 3 less items than Sabin, so, you know, saving a little bit of time there. Mike going to Swamp now. He's going to be heading in now that he's got the flippers, and grabbing his hook shot and his next crystal as well from Argus. All right, Mike's going to be heading into the actual Swamp Palace now that he's drained the lake, and heading into the MC Han room. Unfortunately, has to turn and do one little quick slash there. Not a big deal. Hits it with the sword and not the beam. The beam actually does not kill it in one shot, so luckily he doesn't have to deal with that. As Skarsnik gets a pretty favorable placement of the Zora. Misses the Whirlpool a little bit, but gets in. No problem there. And Mike is going to make his way to get his first small key and hit the first drain switch of his dungeon as Skarsnik is heading into Ice Palace now. Mike's going to be going and hammering another skull where he's going to grab another small key for so that he can access that switch to his right and hit that and fill this canal here with water. Skarsnik is going to be heading up into his bombable floor. We'll see what strategy he chooses to do. He's got an abundance of bombs, so if he wants to do 2 bombs, which it looks like he's going to, unfortunately he gets a little bad RNG with the red jelly, so he's going to have to make sure that he's confident in his bomb toss there. Does not hit the switch, unfortunately, so he is going to have to hit it on the other side. Skarsnik heading into the bomb jump. Mike having a little bit of trolley enemy movement here. Nice bomb jump there from Skarsnik. Ice Pass bomb jump can be a little unforgiving, so really nicely done for him. And Mike's going to make his way and drop into the big key area. Skarsnik actually letting one of the Crosbys go there, but cleans him up in the corner. No big deal at all. Mike gets his big key, and he's going to double back for yet another time to grab his hook shot out of the big chest in the main lobby. Skarsnik about to be dropping into Cold Stare. Saw him practicing this before the race. Was looking pretty nice. So he does kind of an interesting strat that I don't see very frequently. So hopefully he'll demo that for us. He does like a 6 fire rods and then 2 from the side, kind of. It's kind of cool. So there's the 2 from the side. Makes it so that it spawns that ice drop on the top, and really nicely done. Unfortunately, the last slash gets away from him as well, a little bit more than Mike's, but still really nicely taken care of there. Handles it, not a big issue. Misses the crystal by a couple pixels there. Has to do the swag spin and then grab it, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Mike's heading into the restock room. I imagine he's going to be picking up everything here. Yep, the bomb and the arrows, because he still needs to do his little shopping spree. And he was a little bit low on arrows, so arrows right there, super easy and convenient to pick up. A nice Argus pattern there for Mike. Gets the 0 cycle, pulls out his fire rod, and it looks like he's going to get it. Nice, really nice quick kill for Mike. Delivers with emphasis there. And Skarsnik is going to mirror out of Eastern. What? Ice? East? Ice? Yeah, Ice. That's the one. And he's going to also head for Swamp Palace. Skarsnik heading in to drain the Dame here. Cancels that block by dashing and pressing the mirror at the same frame. Or not, yeah, while the block is moving, press those 2 buttons at the same frame, and you can eliminate the block. Mike gonna meet the duck halfway, and he's gonna head up Death Mountain again so that he can pick up his Ether Medallion. Nice climbing from the stairs there. Uses the hook to save a little bit of time. Hits the warp right here. And he's going to make his way onto the medallion itself. Talks to the bully, or not the bully, but the little Kirby that is being bullied. Just wants to check on him and see what kind of emotional state he's in, I guess. Skarsnik picking up his key, and he's going to head into the first drain switch for the Swamp Palace. Hammering the middle peg on accident, not a big deal. He's just going to choose to exit back through that as well. As Mike makes his way to the East Rod cave, where he's going to pick up the Ice Rod. All right, now Mike's got his shopping done. He's going to head into the Misery Mire. Pause buffers there on that turn to switch to the Ether Medallion. Now he's going to open up the dungeon and head on inside and make his way downtown to Vitreous. Skarsnik, meanwhile, hitting his other drain himself, and he's going to head over to the big key area in Swamp, where he's going to grab the key and then make his way double back again to get his hook shot. Ooh, a misfire there on Mike. Looked like a little bit, but is able to bring it back and still get a really, really nice one cycle on Mire 2. So 1.0 damage from Skarsnik as he's fallen in there. Just takes 1 heart. Nice key jelly from Mike. Gets trolled a little bit by that slug. Has to shoot 2 fire rods before he dashes on over. But not a problem because he gets that full magic pickup under that skull immediately after. If you're ever in that position and you see the slug in your way, highly recommend using the fire rod because of the magic vial that you're going to pick up anyway. Skarsnik picks up his hook shot, and he's going to head into the back half of Swamp. He's got 1 more drain switch to press, floor down from where he's at, and then he can make his way to Argus. Mike gets his big key. Now he's going to double back through the main lobby of Misery Mire so that he can get the Cane of Samaria. Skarsnik dropping into the most difficult pool in the game, probably. The enemies here can be super troll. He dodges the second one nicely, and he's going to make his way into Argus as Mike is going to get down to the big key door and head into the basement of Mire. He's got 10 hearts heading into the basement, which is nice. Give him a little buffer in case he does have a little mishap on Viddy. Now, Skarsnik having a little bit of trouble hook shotting that one puff. Finally gets them all done. Might actually be getting another cycle here. Without audio, it's kind of hard to tell, but with Argus just sitting there, I'm imagining that was another cycle, unfortunately. switches to the mirror. That way he can mirror out as soon as the cutscene is over. Nicely timed pause buffer to the bomb for Mike as he switches and is going to toss it at the crack and dash on up through. Ooh, takes one eyeball there. Mike's going to need to be a little bit careful. Dodges the lightning and is going to be able to finish up Vitreous here. Again, he's a little low on arrows, so yep, he opts to go for a few slashes there to finish up the fight, like I thought he would consider with his current count. And so saves a couple arrows, so he has 8 left heading into T-Rock, which is going to give him... ignoring any drops that he may get, there will be 2 5 pickups he can get, which will put him at a cush 18, perfect for the Ice Armos fight, which is why he chose to stop firing arrows at that point of the Vidi fight. Meanwhile, Skarsnik doing a stair climb here, getting on up to his Ether Medallion. A nice Waffle House drive-by there for Mike. Doesn't really take anything too serious getting in his way. Takes no damage, making his way up to the top. Skarsnik grabbing his Ice Rod now. He's going to switch to the flute and head over to the Missouri Mire now, as Mike is making his way to the entrance of Turtle the Rock Johnson, everyone's favorite dungeon. Nothing has ever gone wrong here. As I mentioned earlier, Mike is going to have to be a little cognizant of his health count here if he chooses to tank the damage in the roller room like I expect he will. Because he has already gotten rid of his next 3 drops from the Pokies. So he's lost the heart, he's lost the fairy, and he has lost the full magic. Maybe we'll see him mirror out after he gets the small key in the roller room so that he can pick up the full magic vial at the start and also save himself 3 hearts. I guess we'll see what he chooses to do when we get there. Yeah, it looks like he may, because he did not pick up the bomb and is going to need a bomb as well. So we'll see what strategy he chooses to go for. He may know that he has a bit of a lead here, so playing it safe when he knows he's not going to be getting any drops would not be a terrible decision by any means. It looks like he's going to tank the damage. I figured Mike's pretty comfortable with the dungeon, not surprising at all. As long as he manages his magic usage in the Chomp's room, only has to use 1 cane there, 2 at most, should be alright. Does get a little trolled by that Chomp there. Gonna be using another cane. Gonna walk around the Chomps to get his key. Meanwhile, Skarsnik lighting up the torches in Mire before he can get his big key. Really nice. And Mike's got a really nice health count and magic level because he's not going to be using fire rods on the pokies, so he should be looking pretty nice. Going to see him pick up the first of the 2 5-arrow pots that I mentioned earlier. He may actually get a really nice arrow drop from a pokey because of how far into the prize pack he is. So it may actually work out just a little bit for him. We'll see. There's the 8 bomb drop, so he's got that on lockdown now. So he won't be burning all of his bombs too easily. Skarsnik heading back into the lobby, dashing straight down, going for a strategy I used to use too. I used to prefer to do that for a long time. Dashing down to the bottom, coming back up, and dashing to the right. Really easy way to make sure you don't take any damage there. Mike heading into my favorite room in the entire game, the double pokey room. Probably played this room way more than any other room in the game. Does get the 10 arrow drop, but it's really out of the way. Did not get one of the RNGs that kind of drops favorable drop positions. So unfortunately for him, the 10 arrows are going to have to go, but he will be able to get the 5 in G Tower to have enough. Skarsnik heading down into the basement. I'm going to put his new Cane of Samaria to some use here, while Mike is heading into the Dark Maze room. And that's what I was saying about him not wanting to use too many extra canes. Notice that he has used up all of his magic exactly on that last cane. So he's going to have to, might choose to do the dash here. Yeah, thought about it, didn't like the setup, and backed off and then just slashed the beetle into the pit of misery there. Smartly using the skulls to make a pathway for himself into the final area. And he's going to head up into the Trinex fight at the same time as Skarsnik is heading into the Vidi fight. Skarsnik having a little bit of trouble with that one eyeball, kind of stuck out of his reach a little bit. Going to get 2 lightnings, but takes no extra damage and is going to be able to pump some lead into Vidi and call it a day and move on to Turtle Rock for himself. Mike getting the double hit. A little bit mistimed on the final slash. Takes a little hit there. No big deal because he had 8 hearts. And gets the final hit immediately after. And is going to finish up Turtle Rock and head on over to Ganon's Tower. While Skarsnik just grabbed his crystal for the Misery Mire. All right, so Skarsnik has his sword up at almost 119 even, and he's going to mirror out and head up to the same overworld of Death Mountain that we saw Mike do a bit ago. Hopefully he can have a nice Waffle House screen as well. Ooh, actually, breezes by that little Michael there. Has a little bit of trouble. Mike, on the other hand, taking a little bit of a little fire to the tush, taking 2 hearts to the damage before he heads in again into Tower, and is going to open up the stairway and make his way into the final dungeon. Mike with a really nice back boom there, but unfortunately he starts his dash just a little bit too soon before he was actually past the threshold of the middle of the pegs and has to re-hit the switch so that he can get through the second time. Skarsnik heading into Turtle Rock. He's going to be grabbing his magic. He's already got a bomb, so he's set on that front. See what Skarsnik chooses to do in the roller room for himself. As Mike is making his way through the warp pads, he's going to hit a couple of them here. He's got one more to hit and one more that he could hit, but hopefully does not. Bonks on over top of it, no problems there. Skarsnik going through the rollers, grabbing his small key. Mike now got 23 arrows, so he did manage to get 5 extra. Bombing the floor, and he's going to drop on into the Armos on Ice fight. As Skarsnik is going to head over to his Chomps and pick up another key. Ooh, gets hit back on the platform. That can actually cause you to take a little ride that you don't want to, but fortunately he was able to walk right back off of it. Ooh, really nice from Scars. Loses iframes there just a little bit, and then takes like a little kiss from the one chomp, but still a really nice chomps room despite the damage. The time was really well executed. Mike shooting the arrow because he has no beams. This Mimic coming over to hang out with him apparently. All right, pretty nice Mimics one from Mike. No problems there. And also a nice Mimics too. Skarsnik nicely dispatching of the top right RNG for that pokey. And Mike heading to the switch, throws the pot and makes his way up into the Ganon Z, I don't know, bridge? Platform? Bridge? Yeah, bridge sounds reasonable. Ooh, gets a nice RNG, knows how to deal with it, and dashes straight on through. Looks really slick. Heading into the Gauntlet now. Deals with Gauntlet 1 really nicely. Stalfos are being a little obnoxious in Gauntlet 2, no problem. Skarsnik in the best screen of the game. Gets his fairy drop. Looks like he's going to pick it up and the heart, so he's going to have beams heading forward here. Mike slashing the one red horse before dashing across. And heading into the Land Mollis refight. Quick 2-cycle for Mike. Gets kind of an unfortunate hop on the first worm on cycle 1. Hopped kind of down left, and that's kind of hard to deal with when you're anticipating, you know, anything else favorable to the position of the other 2 worms. Down left is kind of an awful jump that it can make. So he got a little unlucky. Skarsnik making his way through the platform maze here. Mike taking care of these VVs, these little black mages here, no problems. And across the Fuzda Bridge. Skarsnik using the cane to knock the beetle off. Meanwhile, Mike lighting the torches, getting a nice fast dash there, and he's going to fire on the final one and head into the upstairs area where he will find the Moldorm refight. Skarsnik with a really nice cane dash there, heading up into the Trinex fight. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Mike. Having a little bit of trouble with the fire rod there. Get trolled by the Spark. Spark Gamble 2.0. Front door strats for Skarsnik here. Takes care of the first head. Fighting off the second one. Mike getting a slash on Moldorm. Getting a nice quick spin immediately after. Pretty nice movement from Moldorm. And nice anticipation for Mike. And we got explosions on both screens. as Mike is heading across the gap and Skarsnik is waiting for his final cycle. Ooh, actually takes a Trinex to the tush. Gonna take a couple slashes here. He's gonna need 2 more. Oh, another kiss. Oh no, oh no! Skarsnik gets trolled by Trinex, kind of wrapped around him there and vipered him from behind a bit. A terrible RNG for Mike and impeccable execution. That was a beautiful triple. Oh, baby. And Mike finishes it off with a 3-cycle. Really nice job for Mike. But meanwhile, Scars is going to make his way back through the Chomps room and head on into Trinex, as Mike is going to be dropping in to the Ganon fight. All right, nice Trinet spin there for Mike. Gets his second double spin. Nice slash. Another double spin. He's going to be using some slashes, banking himself off of the torch to keep himself close proximity from the recoil. Getting some slashes there, and he's going to hook, use some iframes to get through the fire bats as he moves into the next phase of Ganon. Really friendly warps there for Mike. Switching to the torch, gets a quick torch glitch, and now he's going to be going for his spins to finish off Ganon. Hopefully this goes nice and smoothly so that he can finish with a nice, sexy-looking 128. As Skarsnik heading back to Trinex, wants a little vengeance on the fight. Oh, and Skarsnik taking a little extra damage and takes another death in Turtle Rock. That's unfortunate. And Mike the V finishing up Ganon, and despite a fall at Moldorm, and an adventure outside Palace of Darkness, paying Kiki a maybe tournament record of 130 rupees in one run, Mike the Viewer taking the victory with a 128.32 and an official speed racing time of 128.33. So congrats to Mike. Excited that he was able to have a really nice Dark World after the pod shenanigans and finish up everything really nicely. And again, the real prize for winning this is not just advancing to the next stage of the brackets, but having won this race, Mike the Viewer gets to race yours truly in the next elimination match of the tournament. And so very excited to get a chance to race Mike again. We've raced a ton of times in weeklies, so looking forward to that for myself. Because in the end, we all knew it was always about me. So, Skarsnik making his way through Turtle Rock one more time here. Hopefully he can have a little less trouble with Trinex and clean it up and head on over to Ganon's Tower. All right, heading into the Trinax fight one more time here. Hopefully have a little more luck. Here we go. We got 3 slashes and switching over to the Fire Rod. Get slash number 4 and 5. The Fire Rod takes a hit. He's going to need to be careful here. Uses his last Fire Rod perfectly and is going to go into the last phase here. Nicely done for Scars there. Cleans up and grabs his crystal. Now he can head over to Ganon's tower, where he's going to make his way through the same trials that we just saw Mike deliver for us and finish up his run here. So give Scars some love in the chat as we're making our way into the final dungeon. Scar's making his way across the pits with the hook shot. Toss a nice boom, making it across the pegs, and he's going to try to switch to the hook shot very quickly here and double down there. Really nicely done. Grabbing the key, heading on through, and he's going to hit this switch so that he can warp into the next level of Ganon's Tower. Bonking over the Fire Snake here. Going to dash up the second level here, the second aisle. Grab this key and head on down through, and he's going to make his way through a couple warps too. We'll see if he takes the same route as Mike or not. Looks like he is. He's going to hit the first one there and walk underneath the next two. You can alternatively hook shot over the first one and hit the second if you choose. Oh, didn't get quite close enough to bonk over the warp, so he's going to warp through both of them. Doesn't pick up the arrows because he's got 28 of them. Doesn't really need any. Would only give him 2 more, so not really worth the time. Typically, if you hit the warp and you're a little short on arrows, it's a nice place to fill up. Scar's having a little bit of trouble with Armos here. One of them gets away from him. He's going to have to clean it up. And he's also going to have to deal with some Ganon bats that may not look particularly familiar to him when he gets to the fight. Gets his big key, mirrors out. He's going to head upstairs for the second half of Ganon's Tower. Hits the switch, dashes down, going to make his way across the spikes. Gets trolled by this red mimic a little bit, takes a couple extra hearts of damage, and he's going to head into the mimic's rooms. Skarsnik going for north-south arrows on mimics too. Nicely done. Dashes through the big key door. Makes his way to the spike switch. Nice dash past the spikes there, preserving some of his health. He's sitting at 7.5 hearts, which is actually not a particularly bad amount of health. And he's going to just skip those fairies that he can get there because, like I said, 7.5 hearts is a pretty good amount until you hug the blue horse, and now he's down to 5.5, so he is going to need to be a little bit more careful for the rest of Gauntlet because it can be quite treacherous. So we'll see. Gets through Gauntlet 3, no problem. Also through Gauntlet 4 really nicely. Switch into the Fire Rod. Probably going to play it safe here. Just kill the Stalfo and then dash on over to the left after slashing the horse head. Into Lambo 2. Stalls a little bit. He wants all of them to spawn at the same time. Gets the spin. Gets one Fire Rod on one, and he's going to be spinning here on round 2 as well. Ooh, gets the double spin. Really nicely done. Showing some love to no EG, although he did use the Fire Rod once, but still proud. A nice friendly heart drop there, getting him up to 5. Dashing across, heading into the second of the 2 Wizrobe rooms. Easy peasy. Going past the underside there, maybe thought that he was a little bit slow in his movement or something. Didn't want to take any hits on the way to the second torch. Shoot his Fire Rod here, and he's going to dash into the next room and head up to the torches. Notice that he picked up that little magic so that he did not have to grab the full vial in the downstairs area. That takes it a little bit careful just so he doesn't run out of magic. Nicely done. And he can head straight in because he's already got his key that he needs. Gonna jump down on here into the Moldorm fight. Ooh, takes a hit, unfortunately, a little bad luck. Takes the dash, gets ready for his spin slash. Takes a little bit of a hug. Recovers, slashes, is gonna need one more now. There he is, nicely done. And gives him a couple vengeance slashes there, a little frustration, as he hook shots across over to the chest. Just one hit on the first cycle. Nicely lined up for the second. Hopefully he can get some energy balls. Ooh, and it's a nice slick triple. The slick trip. Needs one more hit. Unfortunately, he despawns before he can get that last hit. He needs to be a little careful. He's got one heart. Whew. Making me sweat a little bit there. The egging him to death is time-wise the worst death you can take because you have to make it the whole way through the upstairs of Ganon's Tower for a second time, and it can be quite a journey. Fortunately, he's able to clean it up with one heart left. And he's going to make his way downtown to the ground, taking it down into the Ganon fight. No fear, walking in with one heart. The respect I have right now is of utmost. Playing it safe, just going for some slashes there. Gonna head into the second phase of Ganon here with some Fire Bat skis. Like I said, his Fire Bats are gonna look a little weird, but fortunately, he's unfortunately takes a hit there, but his Fire Bats wouldn't have been a huge issue because he was in fact going for, you know, not a typical strategy on the fight to try not to take damage. See if he goes for a more traditional approach here if he is able to. Ooh, misses a slash, so he's just gonna be going for some more slashes here. Needs one more slash for this phase, I think. There we go, we're good. There we go, nicely done. Hook shots through him pretty nicely. Moving on to phase 3. Hopefully we can get some nice warps here. Alright, now finally heading into the final phase of the fight. Going to be dodging this Fire Bat, lighting the torch for the torch glitch. Oh, unfortunately misses the frame that he needs to, so he's going to be lighting both for the duration of the fight. He chooses just to ditch it. He doesn't want to deal with it. Says, I would rather do the fight again from the start than hang out with the torches being unlit for the duration of the fight. Skarsnik now going to have a little extra health for the next refight attempt that we're going to have here, fortunately, so he'll be able to take a hit if he needs to. At this point, I think you guys know how the fight works. 12 slashes a phase on the first one, and then 12 slashes on the second one. Gets the nice top right RNG for phase 2. 3 triple slashes. Or triple slashes? Did I just make something up? 3 triple slashes, boys and girls. 3 triple slashes. Whew! Skarsnik taking another death to Ganon. Ganon not being his best of friends right now. Oops, I did it again. Skarsnik going in again in another try here. See what we can see what he can cook up for us on this go, though. All right, I know it in my heart of hearts. This is the one, folks. This is the one. Going into phase 2. Getting a double spin there. Another double spin. And a third double spin, a.k.a. the triple slash, as dubbed by myself. Heading into phase 2. Still got all 8 hearts this time. Getting lots of warps because, of course, we are. All right, now let's just get that torch glitch, Scars. Takes a hit from Ganon, manages to stay up, and gets the torch glitch. Now all we need to do is get our 12 spins and head on into the Triforce room. So take care of business, Scars. Just a few more spins here. All right, and there it is, folks. Spin number 12. Spamming a little bit of some torches there. And he is going to be heading on in to the Triforce room, finishing up my boy Skarsnik. GG's to him. Spamming the rest of his magic and heading on up. Finish him with a official Speed Racing TV time of 1:49.21. All right, so that'll wrap it up for us here. Probably just going to be bouncing out because of the sake of time, because it's almost 10 a.m. now, Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, for those of you guys that live on the East Coast, Beast Coast. Fantastic race here. Pretty nicely done by both of our runners. Skarsnik obviously had a little bit of trouble at the end, but managed to clean it on up and finish up Ganon and get to the end. Congrats again to Mike the Viewer for advancing to what I'm sure is going to be the hottest match of the entire tournament. You know, Mike the Viewer and Mutsky just, you know, they're going to be bringing the heat. You know, it just doesn't get much better than that. They might as well consider this one the grand finals already, because it's going to be so good. So make sure you're there for that, because I can't even fathom how awesome it's going to be exactly. But Thanks, guys, for hanging out and watching our race. There will be several more tournament races here today. I'll see what we got here on the docket in a second. Looks like at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Korek and my boy Eddie, a.k.a. Dark Mind Demon on Speed Gaming 3. And then a couple hours after that at 4 p.m., we're going to have Elmister, and he's going to be facing off against Void. Never heard of him, but Elmister I know pretty well, but Void, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Then tonight, we've got a late night matchup between two of the young guns rolling in. We got Ninnies versus Super Nintendo Entertainment System Chalmers _ 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That, my friends, is going to be another hot matchup. So make sure you guys are there for that. Wrapping it up on these Saturday games. So stick around throughout the day. Thanks for joining us pretty early in the day if you're living in the U.S. Good hang out. And enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everyone. I'm Lusky. Deuces.